What's up, y'all? How you doing? So today I have decided to come with another video. This is going to be a story time of when my ex-husband called CPS on me. Okay, we'll just get right into the story. I won't say his name. I'll just say my ex, because that's what he is. And I'll just I'll just mention X, and y'all know who I'm talking about. So 2000, it was year 2017. 2017, we were already having problems and stuff like that. He had moved out the house. He didn't live there at all. It was just me and the boys. He left, and I was taking care of the kids on my own. He barely came to the house. He didn't help out. He didn't come around. So he pretty much left us. I didn't know where he lived. He never told me. Initially, we were supposed to separate just to work on our marriage and everything like that. But it didn't seem like it was going that route or that direction. So what ended up happening was I was working. I was full-time single parent, full-time mother, working to trying to take care of the kids by myself. I would wake up really early, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and take the kids to daycare. If it was my choice, I wouldn't have taken them to daycare. I would be a stay-at-home mom for a long time, because I think it's crucial to be home with your kids for a long extended period of time, for at least till they're 3 or 4. So what ended up happening was that I took that particular day, because mind you, like I said, he wasn't coming around. Our son's birthday came January 12th. He did not come. I also said to him, it doesn't matter what differences that we have. Your first priority should be your children, coming to see your kids, especially if it was his birthday. And it was his 3rd birthday. And then fast forward to I would say it was around January 20th. Zaire's birthday was January 12th. January 20th, what ended up happening was that particular day, I woke up early. I took the boys to daycare. I kissed them bye, and I gave them a big hug, and they were crying like they always did. They didn't like when I left them at daycare, but I said to them, "Mommy will be back later," and give them a kiss, and I said bye. I went to work that day. We usually worked until 7:30. I worked until 7:30 p.m. And him and we had an arrangement at 7:30 that what he would do is pick up the car and go pick the boys up, bring them home, and come back and pick me up and drop us home. We had an arrangement for the kids. That day, I noticed that he didn't pick up the car. It was around, he was supposed to pick the kids up at 6. I noticed that the car was still in the parking lot at work. And I was like, why is the car still at the parking lot? I called him. He said, "Oh, I'm on my way. And I'm sitting there like, okay, well, you're late. Just hurry up. Because it was around like 4:30. Because he usually picked up the car around like 4 o'clock. He didn't pick up the car. 5 came around. Still didn't pick up the car. I called him again. I'm like, where are you? And then he's like, I'm on my way. I'm almost there. And like 5:15, and I'm panicking, because I'm just like, yo, like, you need to pick up like, why aren't you picking up the kids? I was angry, you know. I was like, not angry or yelling angry. I was just more worried about like what's going on. 5:15 rolls around. He's still not there. What I did was I called him again, and a woman picked up, and I was like, I was beside myself. I'm like, who is this? And then she's like, my name is Icy and I'm from CPS. And I was like, what? I was like, she's like, someone made an allegation against you. And I was like, what? And then she goes, yes, I need to talk to you. You need to meet me at your house and we need to talk. I just need to speak with you concerning your children. I was just, at that point I was pissed off, and I thought it was the female that he left me for. I mean, or cheated on me with. I thought he was on the phone with her. I mean, I thought she picked up the phone and she was talking to me, and I got so pissed off. And I was like, give my husband the phone. I was pissed. And then she gives him the phone, and I was like, I said to him, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, hurry up. He said, well, you need to come to the house. I'll pick up the car from the house. And I was like, so you lied to me. You weren't even on your way. Why did you lie? And he was just telling me a whole heap of lies. And I said, who called CPS on me? He's like, I'm like, and what allegations? I just didn't understand. I was so confused. And then he goes, I don't know. I was just at a state of panic at that point. And then I talked to my boss and I said, I have to go home. And I told her the situation. At that point I was just crying because I didn't know what was going on. And at the same time I was worried about my children because of the time. It was close to the time to pick them up. We'd be late because at that point it was 5:50 or something like that. I got to the house. This guy comes and he picks up the car. After me waiting in my condo for like 15-20 minutes, these women appear at my door. We sit down and she's talking to me and she's like, yes, my name is Icy and this is my assistant and we're from CPS. I was like, what's going on? She's like, there's allegations against you that you are going to harm yourself and that in turn you're going to harm your kids, and we have reason to believe that you have postpartum depression and all this nonsense. And I was like I was like, first of all, what? I was really upset because I'm just like, how do I have postpartum depression? Tell me that. One. Only person who would have known about any type of postpartum depression that I had was around the time my twins were born, which was that was like what, 2 years ago? And I was at that time from 2017. And I look at her and I'm like, who made these allegations? And she goes, it was your ex. And when I tell you I couldn't believe it. Trust me, I couldn't believe it. So she goes on to tell me that it was him. He made the allegation. He had a recording of me saying that I have postpartum depression. And I'm sitting there really upset, pissed off, and saying, are you guys kidding me? If he was so worried about the kids, then why did he leave me 2 months and then he calls you guys? Really? I got to a point where I was extremely emotional. I was bawling, I was crying because you're accusing me of things that are not even going on. Obviously, and I'm not discrediting postpartum depression. I had it. But I didn't, it was like a thing of a day, and I kicked in the butt and I got myself together. And I'm telling you right now, I only got over it because of God. he was the only one who was able to get me out of that with the twins, because I was taking care of 3 kids by myself, because my ex was not even in the country. He was in Jersey at that time. I was in Canada. Because of under circumstances, I had to have my kids in Canada, and I couldn't leave, and all this other nonsense. And it was just, at that point, I was taking care of 3 kids on my own. And my son, Zaire, was only 10 months old when the twins were born. And the twins would wake up every 30 minutes. And I'm telling you, I had no sleep. It was brutal. It was ridiculous. And anybody in my spot, I would say 100%, then maybe, yeah, you could, not everybody, but a lot of people go through it. And postpartum depression is real. It's not a fake thing. It is real. I never ever thought of harming myself. When the twins were born, I was just depressed to a point where I just wanted to crawl up in a ball, and I didn't know what to do, because I was at that point, I would say a single mom, because he wasn't there. And at that point, I didn't blame him, right? Because he was gone for a reason. He was working and everything. And he only was able to stay 2 weeks after the twins were born. And then he had to go back to Jersey. And then that's for another story. That's for another time. But pretty much she said to me that we are concerned for the kid's safety. He made his allegations against you. He has a recording of you. Mind you, I said, so he recorded me without my consent. Okay. And he thinks that you're gonna harm yourself and that you're gonna harm the kids. And then she said something about me locking the kids up, and I don't know. She said a whole bunch of things, honestly, and I just couldn't comprehend what was going on, or I couldn't believe it, because everything that she's saying was a lie. At that point, I'm just crying. I'm just like, how are you guys gonna believe him when I'm the one taking care of my kids? He doesn't even live here. And sorry, my door open. I'm like, he doesn't even live here, like, he left. I've been living here on my own with my kids. And like, at that point, I'm telling y'all, I was pissed and I was angry. Lo and behold, this guy pops up walking in the door, right? Because he still had the key to the condo. And I was mad because, one, I didn't know where my kids were. He walked in without my kids. And then I look at him, I'm like, where are my boys? And then he goes, and he's just looking at the lady, looking all nervous and whatnot. And then she looks at him and she's like, should I tell her? And then I'm like, you're gonna tell me where my kids are? What gives you the right to tell me where they're? What gives you the right to say I'm not gonna tell the mother where her children are? Because he wasn't gonna tell me, right? And mind you, I didn't know where he lived for a long, like, the day he left, I didn't know where he lived, right? Okay. He then proceeds to say, my kids are with the girl he left me for, right? Mind you, my kids don't know this lady from Adam. He barely knew her, and he left my kids with her, all right? Okay. At that point, that's when I found out that when he left, he moved in with her. And then he called CPS on me, and he got my kids taken away. They took my kids away because all they said to me was that, oh, we just want to talk to you, right? No, they took my kids away, and they pretty much took them away for 6 months. 6 months. I had to do a whole bunch of tests that just to basically prove that I was mentally competent and not psychotic, or whatever you want to pull it. Do you want to say that I didn't abuse my kids, or I was mentally stable? And when I tell you that was degrading and demeaning, it was the most terrible thing I ever had to go through in my life. Not having my kids and not being with my kids, and being treated that like I was a bad mom and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll be back, y'all. Hold on. Sorry, I actually had to get my kids. Okay, so So yeah, I had to pretty much convince them that I was mentally stable and mentally competent to take care of my kids. And I thought that was the most evil thing anyone could ever do to me. I thought that was the most wicked thing anybody could ever do to anybody, especially if, when you're a great parent, you're a wonderful parent, and someone makes it seem like you're not. And that's what he made it seem like. And he'd always say to me, I never once said that you were a bad mom or you didn't do this and that, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whatever. Everything you're saying is coming through one ear and it's coming out the other ear, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear bull crap. I don't want to hear lies. And I didn't know that they were going to take the kids for this long from you. I didn't know, blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you, it felt to me that he was like trying to make his own little family with some girl he barely even knew. Like, we were together for so many years, and I'm just like, it's, to me, it's just the most terrible thing anybody could do to anybody. And I thought that how do you come back from that? How do you come back from something like that? How? I was hurt. I was depressed. I was not even able to work at that point. They had to do like an emergency leave because all I did at work was cry. And I lived in a house alone by myself with nobody. My kids weren't there. I would walk past their room and I wouldn't see them, and that would just trigger me to cry. And I felt a whole lot of sadness. I don't want to get emotional talking about it because this story is always hard for me. Talking about it is always going to be hard for me. Talking about it is always going to be emotional for me. Talking about it is always going to break my heart. And anybody who would do this to anyone, especially someone who didn't deserve it, you're wrong for that. I missed 6 months of their life for what reason? I don't even know. Because at the end of this whole at the end of that whole investigation, she didn't even understand why they called her. She's like, my caseworker said, I don't even know why they called me. I don't know why they even got us involved, because you're a great mother. And even the psychiatrist I had to see, the worst part was that she was like, they unjustly took your kids away. Yeah, see this kid? Go watch TV. Go watch TV later. Okay.
No more bars.
There's no more bars. Close the door.
Where me lucky bars?
Oh my gosh, this child. What do you mean there's no more bars? I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. Okay, so even the psychiatrist I had to see, she was saying to me, you didn't deserve that. And because, come on, anybody who's I've been through in my marriage would feel exactly the same way, would be angry because one, you cheated on me. 2, you left me. 3, you left me for another girl. You moved in with her. 4, you called CPS on me. You took my kids. For what reason? And she said to me, it's normal for anyone to be angry at that. It's normal for anyone to be upset about that, because it was wrong on your part to call them on me, and it was wrong for you to take my kids away. For what reason? Y'all, I wasn't like it's a thing if you leave, right? Good, leave. I don't care. But at the same time, for you to take away the one thing that made me happy and have so much joy, you took that away from me. Okay. So it was just a lot of fighting to get them back. A lot of fighting to get them back. I went through the courts. I said, after the 6 months, I got custody of the kids, and I said, you know what, just give me my kids so you can't do what you did to me. You can't falsely accuse me of anything that I didn't even do. And I was at a turning point in my life where I just wanted to die. And I always tell people, depression is real. Postpartum depression is real. But find those people who can help you. The number one, the major people in my life who helped me through this was was God, and it was my dad. And my dad knows me very well, and my dad called me that day and he said, I'm gonna come get you because I know what you're going. I know it's terrible for you, and it was terrible for me, And I encourage anybody who is in a point where you're just spiraling down into a deep depression to get help or talk to somebody, because left untreated, you could possibly harm yourself or anything like that. But anyone who goes through tough times in the way I went through it, I could honestly say that at that time, all I thought about was dying because I didn't have my kids. But then at the end of the day, I had to fight. I had to fight for them. I had to fight to get them back. I had to fight to have them back because those were my kids. And I'm not going to let anybody take them away from me. And we fought, we prayed, and we prayed hard. And God heard our prayer, and I got my kids back. I got that call, and she said, you can have your kids. And I was so happy, so happy to get them back. So happy. I missed them so much. And yeah, that is actually my story about what happened. He called CPS on me, and he got my kids taken away for 6 months. I didn't have them. I moved into another house, and I lived in that big house by myself. I had the rooms fixed and everything, but I still didn't have them. I had to go through appointment after appointment after appointment to prove to them that what I was being accused of was a lie. And it wasn't true, and I'm fine. And I was fine, There was nothing wrong with me. I was living my life. I was doing what I had to do as a mother. I put my big girl pants on and did my job. Did what I had to do as their mom. Took care of my kids. That's what I did. I didn't because my husband left me and did all this, that to me, I'm going to be depressed, not take care of my kids and all that. No. I didn't do that. When someone does something that wicked to you, it's just you don't even know what to do anymore, because it's just you're cautious over anybody and everybody that you come across, because anybody can someone that you thought you knew and trusted pretty much stabbed you in the back. And that is my story about when I lost my kids for 6 months. But I'm not sad. I got the victory because God gave it to me. I have the boys. They're in my custody, and it's just how it should be. It should be with mom, I'm thankful to God because I have them, and everything I went through is a testimony for others. Don't give up. Don't stop fighting, because I was not going to stop fighting for those kids. I was not going to stop fighting. Never. I never would have stopped fighting for them. And because I didn't stop fighting, I got them back. So, you know, we're always back and forth, but we live in Georgia, but, you know, and it's not about taking kids away. It's just, I make any decision for my kids based on what is best for them, and I do anything to make them happy, anything to bring joy in their life, and because they deserve as much happiness as they should get. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my story. And just when somebody accuses you, or somebody falsely accuses you, even if it's not to the point of my problem, what happened to me, don't stop fighting to clear a name. Don't stop fighting to get justice for yourself and for your own kids, or if you do have kids, or if it's a different situation. Just don't stop fighting. Don't do it. Don't do it. If I stopped fighting for my kids, I wouldn't get them back. If I stopped fighting for them, they would not be with me, right? So just don't stop fighting. Don't ever give up, and always trust that God will deliver you, and have faith that He will see you through it, because He will. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, and most definitely do not forget to subscribe for more videos. And I will probably do another one story time on how my marriage ended. I could talk about that. I'm not, like I said, it's been like going on 3 years, so it's not like it's fresh or anything like that. I feel like it's time to talk about it. But again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Do not forget to subscribe for more. Bye.